What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Most Likely to Day Drink podcast, where we sip slow with Culture Combo. I am Keita, and I'm joined by my co-host, Love Lady. Say hi, Love Lady. And my other co-host, who is not as extra, Terrence.
Goodness.
So, before we get started on today's topic, we are going to find out what everybody is sipping on. So, Love Lady, since you like all of the attention, tell us what you're sipping on.
I am actually changing up a little bit and sipping on a flavored whiskey. Some may know it from being out of Canada. Their name shall not be spoken unless we get some checks. But as of right now, like I said, it is a peach flavored or peach infused whiskey.
Awesome.
Neat, I should say.
Neat. All right. Terrence, what are you sipping on?
Having myself a classic old fashioned with syrup given to me by my good friend Love Lady on your bottom screen. Thank you, sir.
Finally got it out the car.
Right.
Too long.
That was
Glad
a
the car is
story.
doing
Yes. now we know the car is okay. The syrup is okay. All is good.
Right. Well, I'm also drinking on an old fashioned. I put a little orange slice in there because that's my business via Tabitha Brown. But I'm also using a nice cocktail syrup provided to me by Brother Love Lady. Thank you. Love getting little surprises in the mail. If you don't have friends who send you surprises in the mail, you have the wrong friends. 2021, live by that mantra. Anyway, so do you guys do New Year's resolutions?
I do not. I kind of gave up on them a long time ago because I realized about 2 weeks in, I'm like, yeah, I'm not with it. So I stopped. I have goals that I set and I have intentions, but that's about as far as it gets.
What about you, Love
Yeah,
Lady?
we basically, I know about my wife sets goals. I am not the best planner, so I set very broad sweeping goals, I could say. But what we do try to do is kind of have a mantra for the year, or kind of a word for the year. We haven't kind of nailed down the one we want to use yet for this year.
I was about to ask, what is 2021's mantra?
Yeah, I have to get back with you on that to make sure we're all aligned on that. But we try to get together and just figure out what we want to do. I know last year was definitely growth. So this year, with everything that went on last year, believe it or not, we actually did grow. I know my business grew or increased actually compared to the year before, believe it or not. And so I mean, like I said, we just try to look at the year in that theme and kind of course, do our actions or have our actions kind of align with that.
I feel like you're wearing a very appropriate theme for 2021 at the moment.
Oh yeah, this is like the universal black.
Right.
Way you say you good.
Right.
I feel like we all need to check in with ourselves this year. It's already been wild.
Yeah, very much so. And we're only like a week and a half into 2021.
We're a week and 2 days in. So
did y'all see the meme that said I'm calling in to cancel my subscription to 2021?
Yeah.
I did the 7.
Yeah.
because these previews ain't shit.
I'm not interested.
Yeah, these previews ain't shit.
Oh man,
charge my account.
Trailer's trash.
Trash.
Oh man.
Well, I never do New Year's resolutions just because I feel like we need to be making changes throughout the year, not just at the end of the year going into a new year. And then let's be realistic. People normally don't keep their New Year's resolutions anyway. Everybody always, well, not everybody, but most people have the same New Year's resolutions every year. They want to lose weight. They want to get healthier. They want to increase financially. yeah,
Mhm.
out with the old, in with the new. And I'm just like, dang, are you out with the old, in with the new every year? Like,
Right. You can run out of
what is
options.
going on? Something that you need to reevaluate yourself.
A
If
lot of
you're doing
old.
the same, if you're having to do the same thing every year, you're like cleansing your life of toxic people.
Mm.
And it's like it seems like you get rid of those people and you pick up new toxic people at the beginning of the year. So then you got to get rid of them so you can
They
make
Right.
room for
repurpose.
more toxic people. So it's
It's
just,
Exactly.
repurposing. It's
yeah,
repurposing.
yeah,
Yeah, just flip them inside out and shake them. It's cool.
There you go.
yes.
Right.
But with 2021, with the start of 2021, and with everything that we went through in 2020, I do feel like we need to talk about some of the lessons that we learned. Some of the things that well, let me just jump into it because I'm losing my words. So I'm going to share my screen. I found something very interesting on Instagram. I think his name is Stephen Bartlett. Yes, I got it right. His name is Stephen Bartlett. So he is an author. He also has a podcast. I can't remember the name of the podcast. I'll put it in the video description. But let's go back to the beginning here. So, 8 uncomfortable truths we all need to accept in 2021. So let's start with the first one. You have to be able to admit when you're being the toxic one, when your insecurities are controlling your behavior, and when you're being unfair. Blame is great for your ego. Responsibility is great for your future.
Come on
Mm.
now.
That was a word, a whole
Yeah.
word.
Yes, that was a whole ass word right there.
So I have thoughts on this, but I'm gonna let you guys express your thoughts on
Well,
this first.
let me say this. Just because I called you 32 times back to back, why I gotta be toxic? I may just be concerned.
Kicking up old shit.
Oh, listen, young Terrence was enthusiastic. But yeah, no, I do feel like I do feel like anything that we could observe about another person's behavior that we don't like, the insight that we have into that behavior and being able to identify it probably comes from somewhere within. Most likely, it's something that you know or haven't noticed yet, but it's a part of you, and you're not necessarily projecting, but you're able to see it and call it a name because it's also a part of you.
Mm.
I think there is that saying, and I'm probably going to get it wrong. I'm sure somebody will correct me in the comments, but it's something like, "What do you hate by this, or you are truly known," or something similar to that effect.
Yes, I don't know the exact. I've heard that, but I can't quote it. So, but I know what you're trying to say.
Yeah, so I think we could all probably shut the hell up a little bit more and examine ourselves. And I know, I mean, personally, actually, that 32 times calling is not far from the truth. There was a time in my life where I actually thought that I needed to be checking in on you, like literally, if you're not around me, if you're in the other room, I'm like, you're gonna get an "I miss you" text. Do you miss me? Why are you taking so long to come back from the kitchen?
Mm.
What's going on? I drove by your friend's house. Your car wasn't there. I checked the backyard. It wasn't there either. Are you okay?
You hopping fences?
Was it really you?
Listen, if necessary,
Hair
if
some jeans,
necessary.
some maybe.
I'm sorry.
Hair some jeans, some hopping fences.
Listen, nothing was out of the question. It was like, oh man, my phone's messing up. I just had to call you back 5 times to make sure it was working okay. Could you call me back and let me know if you got this?
So was it an insecurity you had, or was it just like were you genuinely like trying to find out how that person's well-being was, or was it something in you that was missing?
I think it was a mixed bag. I think I thought that was genuine, that was a way of expressing genuine concern and keeping a connection alive because I had abandonment issues. I just didn't know that I did at the time. So because I didn't know, I was like, yeah, I thought everybody was out here calling people 32 times a day. Shit.
So you thought that was the norm?
Yeah, I'm like, how you supposed to know where your person is?
That's real. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's interesting. Yeah, your normal. You just feel like your normal is everybody else's normal.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely, and I think that I think that's very much that's a warning sign that you may be exhibiting toxic behavior if you think the entire world thinks and operates like you do. And I know that I've even seen it posted many times that we may have even posted it at some point. Not everybody has the same heart as you do. It's like, yes, that's true, but that's not a pejorative necessarily. It just means we all have different experiences that have gotten us to where we are and how we think and how we process things and how we conduct our relationships, how we deal with ourselves, because some of us don't deal with ourselves at all. Some of us deal with ourselves too much.
Right.
You know, some of us put up fronts and act like everything is chill when inside your head it's looking crazy.
Yeah.
Like a war zone, which is what I tend to do even now. I tend to put out a certain exterior, but on the inside it's looking real it's looking real institutionish.
Yeah, I think Will Smith even talked about this when he came to the realization like everybody doesn't operate or pursue their vision of success in the same way he does.
Absolutely.
Like he talked about you remember his daughter had that song "Hair Back and Forth" or whatever.
Can't
like way
forget
back
it. I was so worried for that child's neck.
Yeah, so you know, the way he pursues things is like, you know, just all in, scorched earth, like, you know, just anything that gets in your path, like annihilate it and get to your goal. Whereas, and he just assumed everybody operated at that same level. And so when his daughter, you know, had, I guess it was a hit back then, and he felt like she should have capitalized on it and like really pursued it and kept going and whatever. And she was just like, I'm kind of done with it. You know, it took a lot for him to kind of understand that, you know, everybody's definition of success or growth or whatever, you know, everybody has their own journey. So
Right.
kind of speaking to what you're saying about understanding that your normal isn't everybody's normal, your definition of success isn't everybody's success, and to place that on other people can create an environment of toxicity.
Of course.
I got that word out.
There are people who are addicted to fame or attention. And so that drives their pursuit of fame or success, however they define it.
Mm-hmm. So I got the way I looked at this, it reminds me of my two boys, and actually something my wife continues to reiterate to me. So whenever I get into it with them about something, he says, you know, what is making you upset about whatever it is they're doing? Is it something that you do yourself, or that you see something in them about you that you don't like? And is that why you're like kind of lashing out or upset or whatever? Mm-hmm. And sometimes I really do have to check myself and say, you know, am I seeing something in them that I don't like about myself, and that's why I'm as mad as I am, or I'm at a 8 when I should be really at a 4 or whatever? Or is it genuinely something that, you know, I need to check about them? But I think there are times where we as people see something in other people that we don't like in ourselves, and not saying that we are, you know, toxic people as a whole, but there are some toxic components or elements within us. Mm-hmm. And we see that and don't like it when we see it outside of ourselves. And so then we attack that person when it's something that we should be kind of trying to address within ourselves.
Right.
Yeah. You know, when I read this, I immediately went to a question that I've seen before. And it was, are you able to admit when you are the toxic person? And I have come to a hard realization, and I think I've mentioned this to both of you before, that there are instances where I was able to look back and be like, it wasn't them, it was me. I was the one who was being toxic in this situation. And if I were them, I would have reacted the same way. But I was able to really sit back and think about it because I'm the type of person, well, I'm not like that anymore. Terrence knows that better than anybody. I don't react anymore. I used to be like, oh, what? You said what? You did what? And I would immediately pop off without thinking about the situation, without taking time to calm down. I would just pop off. And I've had that happen to me, not with you, Terrence. I don't want you to think I'm talking about you. But I've had that happen to me, and I was just like, whoa, where did this come from? You know? And those situations made me look back on other situations that I was in and realize, dang, I've done the same thing to other people. And it's a hard pill to swallow when you realize that you are the toxic person. So, but in being able to realize that also comes growth. Because I don't ever want to be that person again. I know there'll be moments where I have to catch myself. There'll be moments where we all have to catch ourselves and be like, okay, let me step back from the situation for a second, before I say or do something that is going to be harmful to this friendship, this relationship, or whatever. But that's one thing with all of my alone time being quarantined in 2020. I had a lot of time to think and reflect and realize that at some points I was the toxic person. So, but it's true. Blame is great for the ego because I was able to say, oh no, it's you. Right. You are a bad person. I am the good person. You hurt my feelings and you need to apologize.
Right.
But responsibility is great for your future.
Yeah, future with some friends in it.
Yeah. Because if you keep running people away, you're going to be all alone.
Exactly.
And you're going to be wondering,
Yeah.
And it's just like they say, if everybody is having the same problem with you, then it's you. If I'm the one that's always losing friends, I can't really say it's everybody else. I have to admit at some point that it's me.
There's a math equation. You are the constant in the equation.
Yeah, I'm the common denominator. It's like
exactly.
Yeah. All right, so let's move on to the next one. Words are the least reliable form of communication. Someone's energy, behavior, body language, and silence will tell you more than any other signal. Listen closely. I agree with this, but also sometimes words. Also, sometimes I need words.
Same. I'm like, and it's not so much what you say, it's how you say it. Tone and inflection tone and inflection immediately like cause my ears to perk up.
Right.
Yeah, no, go ahead, lovely.
No, I was going to say there's I think there was something on Kimberly's desk that talked about this very same thing and said when you look at communication in its totality, like words make up 7%, tone makes up 38%, and then body language 55%. So like the actual words that come out of your mouth are the minority compared to everything else that you bring with it. The energy you bring, the tone you bring, like the inflections, again, going by that, are you good? It's like you could say, are you good, like 4 or 5 different ways, and it means different things based on how you tone or how your tone or expression is towards the same words.
Oh yeah. I think this is true of a lot of people. And you guys jump in if this resonates with you too. I didn't realize until quarantine and we started having all of our interactions, not just, us, but in business as well, through Zoom and other, and other platforms where you've got a video camera in your face the whole time. I didn't realize how much my face needed deliverance because these facial expressions do a lot.
Oh,
Even
I
when
always knew my face needed deliverance.
yeah, I didn't know the extent to which I actually thought I had a decent poker face. I do not. It is I roll more than I ever thought that I did, and I don't even. It's gotten so bad. I
It's
don't even.
subconscious. Just
Yeah, I don't even feel it happening. It's just them eyes just. Yeah, it is. It's crazy, and they're like, Terrence, are you mad? It's like, not at all. I'm listening.
mm.
And I'm like, yes, but you're very much having a reaction, sir. So we may want to,
kind of way.
yeah, we may want to explore that offline. And I'm like, well, damn, am I?
Yeah, I always knew my face needed deliverance. I've been told that all my life.
Look,
Yeah.
can we just pause for a minute and recognize or acknowledge that this whole my face needed deliverance? Is this like I haven't used that phrase before?
No,
Is this,
you know what? We should trademark it.
is this something that you all have been using and didn't tell me about? Because I have not heard.
No, but speaking of, we should trademark it and we should put it on a T-shirt with our logo right up under it.
Okay, I just thought I thought I was left out of the equation. I'm
no.
Oh, y'all were saying it so loosely, like you know, it's everyday vernacular to you. So.
Well, because we deal with it every day. I have people tell me every day that, you know, if your looks could kill, there would be a lot of murders. There would be a lot of bodies dropping in the streets. My mom even told me that. My mom was like, if you could kill somebody with your looks, she was like, you'd be in jail right now.
Yeah.
Man, Dexter.
And I don't think that I'm giving certain looks sometimes, just like Terrence, it's subconscious.
Mm.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
But I also, I'm the type of person, I wear my heart on my sleeve. Mm. So if I'm feeling something, you're going to see it. Even if you don't hear me say it, you're going to see it. So.
Yeah. I've seen that. I mean,
I already know now. You throw up and I'm fine. I'm like, oof, there's some stuff behind that wall.
Oh yeah.
I ain't gonna try to break through it just yet. But
I'm fine. I'm fine.
Yeah. No, I'm fine. You know, if it's quick, if you get that, I'm fine.
Mm-hmm.
If it's quick, just go ahead and go to bed. Just go ahead and go to bed. That day is over.
Like I wanted somebody to just go to bed and stop asking me questions.
Yeah, there's
night,
no point in even trying to push through at that point. Just gone to bed.
I want two people at a certain point. I wanted them to just go to bed and stop asking me questions. You know?
Listen, only one of us two picked up a battering ram. Is like, we're gonna open this damn door.
William tried to. He tried to, but his was real small. He had a little mini battering ram, and he was like, "Yeah, it's not gonna work. I'm just gonna go ahead and head out."
He's like, all right, I'm gonna head out.
Hey, I tried. It ain't work. I'm out. I shift up, so I'm gonna go ahead and clock out.
Yep.
I'm good. I'm gonna take PTO the rest of the day. You good, right?
Mm-hmm. Especially once I threw that. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Terrence told you to call, but you know, it's all right. We're both concerned.
I didn't actually tell him to call. I just put out there how I felt.
He strongly nudged.
Yeah, he suggested.
It was he put it out there. He baited me. He baited me on that.
Yeah.
I mean, I ain't trying to tell you what to do, but go ahead and call.
But I'll tell you what would be a good idea. That's what I'm not gonna tell you what to do, but I'm gonna tell you what would be a good idea.
Hey, that's what I say. Like I said, now words again. Tone played a lot in that.
Mm-hmm. It said more than the words that were coming out of his mouth.
Right, exactly.
Absolutely. I am very liberal with my persuasive powers. Very liberal with them. I will fully admit that.
All right, so let's go on to the next one because we still have 6 more to go through. Oh. Regret will haunt you more than failure.
Was that an attack, ma'am?
Yes. Yes, I felt a lightning bolt go through my body.
Right.
You know, the first thing when I first read this, the first thing that came to mind was, if you try something, you never have to worry about wondering what if. Like I always think of regret and like the phrase "what if." Like I always think of those two things together.
Absolutely.
I always hear what if in my mind. Like, what if?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm always I've always been a proponent of not that I've necessarily done this in my own life, but for other people, I'm like, you should try everything except me. Um, Definitely be a person who's open to challenge. In fact, when we were, I wasn't. um, Actually, to give a very relevant example to this moment. When we were first discussing this, I am a person who thinks of all the reasons why something will not work out. So this one hit me upside the head too, Gita, because I've talked myself out of way more things than I've ever allowed myself to move forward with. But I decided in 2020, I was like, there's so much this year that's out of my control. I'm actually going to take control of something and just allow myself to say yes to a possibility, especially if it's with people that I love and respect. And I feel like, we can hold each other up when one of us is kind of dragging a little bit, and we've all and also when I need a beat down, I can get that too, and we have. So yeah, no, I think that this is absolutely true. Regrets over what you didn't do or what you didn't say will keep you up at night, especially when that opportunity is forever gone. And that's true of people. That's true of business opportunities. That's true of relationships. It's true of there's not an area to which this does not apply.
Agreed. Do we need to reflect on regret anymore?
Nah, we
Nah,
good.
let's go ahead and leave that alone.
Yeah, I'm feeling
I
it.
don't, I
Yeah.
don't, I don't regret moving
We're
on.
gonna end up in our
I don't
feelings over
either.
here.
All right. So a narcissist will tear you down and rebuild you in a way that is easier to control. Protect your boundaries at all costs. Let me just pause and say that these are awesome. We're halfway there. Yeah, he did a really good job with this.
He did. He
Kudos,
did.
Stephen Bartlett.
Yes.
Anyway, go ahead. Any thoughts on this?
Oh,
Either anybody?
I, I mean, protecting your boundaries. Geez. That is, there's a book. I haven't read it yet. It's something that I'm going to challenge myself to read this year, but it is related to boundaries in like marriage, like what you should kind of hold as your boundaries. I look at boundaries as like if you're going down a road, and you have those guardrails. I tell my son this, they're at an age now where, they were at a time where we were driving the car and we had control of the car. But now they're at an age where they're driving the car, but we have these guardrails in place to say, okay, just stay in the road. And you may bang up against these guardrails, but we won't allow you to just go into the ravine or fall off the cliff. These guardrails are in place to just help you stay on the road. We're not here to drive and control like how you drive, but we want to put these guardrails and these boundaries in place so that if you veer, you won't kill yourself at the end of the day.
That's really good, love lady. I'm proud of you. You're such a good father.
Not yet. Work in
Not,
progress.
sir.
What you say?
With the age of your kids.
I'm such a good father.
Yeah.
Let me take this one last step.
So you ain't getting that certificate of completion for a while, is what you're saying.
Hey, it's a work in progress always.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So do we all have experiences with narcissistic people in our relationships who we feel
We
like
do.
have tried to control us and
I have experience being a narcissist.
Oh, as have I. I was going to say, I think that we all have manipulative tendencies. I think that's human nature, quite honestly.
Oh yeah.
But I think that there are those people who sort of see it as it's their modus operandi. It is what they do. It is the only way they see to get things accomplished when it comes to other people, because they don't like not having control. Others of us do it when it's convenient or when we feel desperate. And yeah, those latter two categories, I've definitely been there, especially in my dating relationships.
Oh,
Yeah.
moving
Yeah.
on.
Oh, yeah. When I won't say I was a narcissist, but I was extremely selfish, especially in undergrad. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Whoremonger.
Yeah.
But at any rate.
Yeah, you did think he was cute back then.
Hey man, you know, I was at a great institution of learning in a city that prided itself on the party, New Orleans, Louisiana, Xavier University, and I tell you, it was for me definitely an opportunity to spread my wings. Absolutely.
And other people's wings.
I'm not even gonna
wings. You mean legs? Yes.
I'm not even gonna judge. Listen, I kept them streets warm in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, as well.
Yeah.
They were
Well,
always
I,
nice.
I on the other hand was an angel. I went to class.
In church.
Yeah, I did. I went to class and I went to church.
Mm-hmm.
I remember.
By church, you mean
Church Keita.
What'd you say?
I remember Church Keita.
I did. Like when I was in college. No, when I was in college, this is veering off on another subject, but I'm only gonna stay here for about 2 minutes. When I was in college, everybody thought that I was a church girl.
Yeah.
Even, I was very heavily involved on campus, in different organizations. I held a lot of leadership positions. And because of that, I felt like I had to display a certain persona.
Sure.
And literally, when I would come around, certain conversations would stop because people were like, oh, Keita's, like, we can't talk about this in front of her. And I'm just like, what? Yeah, I'm not the person that y'all think I am.
Right.
Because I chose not to, like, I partied, but I rarely went to college parties. I would always just go out to the club because I didn't want, especially, there was one year where I was president of an organization on campus. So I didn't want to be at the college party on Friday night and then Monday morning we're sitting in a meeting and I'm sitting at the head of the table and everybody's looking at me like, oh yeah, I saw you at the Sigma party Friday night, because they have parties every weekend. Like, I saw you at the Sigma party,
Flow.
So,
I said on the flow.
Exactly. But and I was a church girl while I was at church.
Mm-hmm.
But
absolutely.
You had operating hours. Yeah.
Yes, I did. I had
hours.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I did. I had fun.
Operating hours. And then if you were Baptist, your church operating hours were from like 9 to 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you
Catholic is from like 11 to 12.
Methodists are from 11 till the game comes on, and we'll do our little tumbling passes down the aisle. But as soon as we get out the church door, good, we're gonna be talking about whoever was in church and whatever we had to say about it. Opinions would be shared over dinner.
Yeah. But I had just as much fun in college as everybody else did. It just wasn't publicized.
I agree with that. Like, it's nice. It's good to do your dirt elsewhere than your primary operating location. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. So the next one: if you continue to wait until you're ready. Sorry, the period at the end threw me off. You'll be waiting for the rest of your life. I was just like, that should be a pause, not a stop. But anyway.
Yeah.
Sorry. I was just going back to my writing. I was like, am I reading this right? Okay, so if you continue to wait until you're ready, you'll be waiting for the rest of your life. I agree with that. If you continue to wait to have sex, you'll be waiting. No, I'm just kidding. I'm joking.
Any day now.
Like, no, I'm kidding.
Let it dry up.
Right. It's like, come on now, we're in a pandemic. But yeah, I'm gonna speak on this first because it's on my heart. Both of you know, I made a big move 3 years ago when I moved to a completely different state by myself. No friends, no family. It was time for me to go, and I went. And I didn't realize what a big deal it was. I didn't think it was a big deal. Mm-hmm. But I had so many people, especially like new coworkers that I would meet, and they were like, "Oh, where are you from?" And I tell them, and they're like, well, what brought you here? And I was like, I just came, and they're like, by yourself, no friends, no family. And they're like, oh my God, that is so brave. And I'm like, okay. So brave. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I didn't think of it as a big deal. Right. But when I look back on it, like how many people do you know that are sitting back wanting to do something, but afraid to do it because they're afraid to go alone? Yeah. And for a long time, I was afraid to come. I was always, trying to talk to my friends like, yeah, we need to get out of Tennessee. We're both single, no kids. Let's just go and we can have fun. And I had to realize that that's what I wanted. And I was trying to push what I wanted on everybody else. Yeah. And I was just like, if you wait until you're ready, because I definitely wasn't, if I had just sat back and like, okay, I'm going to wait until, I have like this much money saved up. So I make sure if something happens, I'm safe, or I'm going to wait until maybe somebody else is ready to go. And then I'm going to go because I'm not ready. I'm not ready to go by myself. But if yeah.
As it turns out, they weren't ready. I was right. Exactly. It turned out to be they weren't ready.
Yeah. But yeah, so I can definitely relate to this one.
It's interesting to me. I feel like these 8 things would be a great setup for a game of Never Have I Ever. We would be in the floor drunk by the time we got to the last one, but it would be a really great setup. And what you said earlier, like, really hit me about, what was causing you to wait. I feel like for a lot of us, the word ready means when everybody else is on board with it, or when I have somebody to do it with me, or when people see it the way I do, or when they're supportive, or I have all these things in place. Yeah. And I know I've been very guilty of, I need everybody to sign on to what I'm doing before I do it. That was even in my head again about doing this podcast. I'm like, oh my God, my family's going to see this. What are they going to think? What are my professional colleagues' opinions going to be? How is this going to shake out? And of course, at some point, and this will be a discussion for a future podcast, but certain alter ego Terrence showed up and was like, well, we really don't give a damn, actually. So let's keep it moving. Mm. Okay. Because this is ultimately this is my life. Nobody else can be happy for me. I can't be happy for anybody else. Like, I've got to make my decisions now. Folks our age are dropping dead every day for some or no reason. And
folks every age are dropping dead. Sorry, absolutely. That was very grim. Go ahead, sir.
No, I'm just saying, but we think about how many of our classmates are dead. Yeah. And I just don't want to, whenever I check out of this hotel, I just don't want there to be a laundry list of things that I was waiting.
Hotel. Whenever I check out of this hotel.
Now that's what we should have had a period.
Yeah, it's whole.
But yeah. No, I just don't want to. I don't want to be that person that has all these things in the hopper, that I'm waiting on the right time for. So I just do it.
Yeah, yeah, and it's also the idea of like the coaches say, stay ready. If you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. Right. If you're continually, developing that skill or developing that trait or whatever it is you're working towards. It's not a matter of having to get ramped up. You already have the knowledge, or you already have the finances you need to kind of move forward. If you're continually kind of chipping away at it and moving forward towards it. But yeah, this is one of those where, it's so. I was talking to a guy earlier today, and kind of what you guys are saying, you start looking around, and this guy's like 62 or so. So he's at a point where he's like, I need to start enjoying life, because I don't know how much of this I got left.
Right.
It's I need to make accommodations and set myself up in such a way that I'm working less and enjoying life more.
Yeah.
And not really waiting on, oh, well, I got to get this much money, or I got to get this set up. And there's some, circumstances where you do have to have a certain amount of money just to enjoy certain things. But at the end of the day, you got to look at what's really important to you, and pursue those things, and find joy in those things. Because, man, I tell you, last year, nothing else said, if you got a bucket list, man, don't feel like you got to wait until you retire to start, checking those things off. Like, start on those things now.
Correct.
So
basically what you're saying is, don't just put the condom in your pocket. Just go ahead and put it on and wait for some stuff to pop off.
Yeah. Some fall your way. Somebody will slip on a banana peel. Stay ready.
The next one, we don't fear new opportunities, new love, or new vulnerability. I need somebody else to write these and take these periods out and put commas.
Yeah,
we fear old pain.
Yeah, Stephen was getting tired toward the end of this.
Yeah. So we don't fear new opportunities, new love, or new vulnerability. We fear old pain. And this is so true, because how many times do we say, oh no, I remember what happened last time. I'm not doing this again, or you're not going to get me again.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, we definitely punish whoever comes next for whatever happened before them that they have no idea about, and we're not willing to communicate. We know we have those triggers, but we don't communicate what they are. We wait. Mm-hmm. We wait. We make it a surprise.
Mm-hmm.
We make it a surprise.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Gotcha, bitch.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And what's even more interesting is that we go into new things knowing that we have these things. Mm-hmm. And your expectations are already set. It's like, well, I know this person is going to hurt me. I know this person is going to screw me over. I know that I'm just working on this self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah. You speak it into existence.
Yeah, we sabotage ourselves.
Oh, listen, you don't just speak it, you work it. You work it into existence. I think we could all admit that we have set traps in relationships for people to fall into. I know I have.
Yeah. Or we've even self-sabotaged, where we put ourselves in a situation that we know is not ideal for us. Like, damn it, I knew I shouldn't have went to that strip club, or so I've heard,
Can't get that Victoria's Secret cinnamon smell off of you now.
Hey man, it's just certain things you have to know yourself enough.
Mm-hmm.
Not to put yourself in those situations.
Absolutely. Don't wear your good clothes.
Yeah, because the ROI isn't worth it.
I'm telling you, that body shimmer does not come off. It does not. It does not.
Glitter is real.
It really is. Listen, glitter is gonna hang on. Keita's like, let's go.
There's no opponent, no enemy. There's no opponent, there's no enemy, there's no obstacles. You're fighting against yourself.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We are.
Yeah.
So we had a term in it's crazy. I guess this is my history. So our two boys used to run AAU track back when we were in St. Louis, and one of the things we would always tell them, and the other coaches told them, you're not racing against everybody that's on the track with you. You're racing to get your personal best, or your personal record, your PR. You're always looking to improve on what you did the last time you were on the track. And if you can do that, then you're successful, or you've grown, or you've improved. because as you start doing that, eventually you'll start beating other people, whether you're last in the pack or first in line. Even if you're first, you're still going against yourself, because it's not about the person next to you. It's about, is your time better than whoever the best person is, or is it better than what you ran the last time? So again, it's always about you trying to improve on what you did the last time you were out there.
Right.
Mm.
But think about how hard it is for us to actually put that into practice in a society where we are inundated with comparisons on a daily basis.
Yeah.
The advent of social media sort of just changed up our ability to take something like this in and sort of make it our personal mantra, because every day you see people on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, whatever, living their best lives, doing, you get everybody's highlight reel.
Yep.
And it, in some ways, it does actually motivate you. You're like, you know what? I see this person out here that doesn't understand punctuation very well, making memes and starting a business. I'm gonna do that. There's no reason that I can't do that. I feel inspired by that. But on the other hand, you're like, damn, my makeup game really could come up, or my money game, my investment game. I'm seeing a lot of investment related posts now. I seem to have like a lot of investment related folks following me now that I've made my page public. So I feel like it's really hard to get away from, this is very much true, but it's hard to get away from it when we live in a society where you're constantly being compared, and there are so many opportunities to compare what you're doing to what someone else is doing. We can't really put those blinders on. And we also want to learn from each other, I feel like.
So the last one, the most important realization in life is that you are already enough. This realization won't make you lose your ambition. It'll help you pursue the right things for the right reasons.
Okay.
But what I got from this is that, the biggest thing is, you are enough. That was what I took away from it. And that a lot of times, I think, and I've fallen victim to this too, is that you look for someone to complete or fix you. And I guess I looked at it from a relationship perspective. People, start looking for, because they feel they're not enough, they look for somebody to either fix them or complete them or make them whole, because they themselves don't feel like they have enough in them to be able to take them to the next level or strive or progress, or whatever the case may be.
Right. I agree with that, but I think that, okay, hear me out. So I think that
something crazy.
Not entirely. I think that aspirationally, yes, I think this is an excellent thing to believe. But in reality, are any of us willing to say that we are so self-sufficient and want to become so self-sufficient that if we walked through our lives totally by ourselves for the rest of it, we would be good? I mean, do we really, really think that we don't truly need other people, at least in some capacity?
I didn't see it that way though.
I don't think that needing people in that way and needing somebody to make you feel whole, I think those are two different things.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, if I need the both of you to feel like I'm important, it's like, oh, these are my friends, and because they are of a certain stature or whatever, then that makes me appear to be a certain way, or that makes me more important because I'm friends with you.
Sure.
No, I don't need you to be, or to feel like, I'm just as valuable as somebody else. I'm enough by myself. Now, needing you as just, I need friends, in that aspect, I feel like that's different.
Yeah.
So I'm never
Yeah,
going
or
to say
even
that I don't need anybody.
yeah,
Right.
or even from a business perspective, you look at it as you can go far by yourself, but you can go farther faster with others to help
Hmm.
you. I think there's this distinction that needs to be made between um, seeking help, um, but I guess feeling like you don't have enough to, or you're not validated in whatever your vision is.
Right.
So like I feel like I can, I'm with real estate, I feel like I have the capability to learn, grow in it, and excel in it, but I need the help of others
Right.
to do certain parts and functions as it relates to, I'm not gonna rehab it. I'm not gonna process the mortgage. I need other people to make the whole dream or vision move forward. But I feel like I'm enough to be able to bring those people together,
Right.
find those people, and then
Mhm.
manifest that vision. So I guess I look at it
Yeah.
from that perspective.
Yeah.
Very good, Brother Love Lady. Oh my gosh. So what one thing would you say you took from 2020? What one positive thing would you say you took from 2020? Because 2020 had a lot of negative,
Oh yeah.
a lot of negative. So let's pull some positive out of 2020.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess I'll go first.
Yes.
I think for me, relationships, and I guess I got two relationships, uh, and specifically like with you two. I think I don't know without what went on in 2020. Um, Absent of that, I don't know if we would have gotten as close as we are now. And will continue to be. So I look at that definitely as a positive. That my relationships with you guys, relationship I developed with my uh, biological father, and just relationships with family in general, I feel like have improved. But then also really taking advantage of the opportunities that are presented to you, or
Mhm.
creating opportunities in things that you feel like, or that you're passionate about, or that you want to pursue. Not again that one that was in the eight uncomfortables. Um, Not feeling like not waiting to feel like you're ready. Just
Mhm.
learn what you can, and take action steps. Be incremental about it, and just continue to move forward. But do it, and don't feel like you have to wait on a certain thing, or a certain person. But get yourself ready.
Yeah.
Well, for me, mine is pretty similar. It's new opportunities because I think I had discussed with Terrence before I discussed with you, Love Lady, that I've been wanting to start a podcast. But I knew I didn't want to do it by myself, because who wants to just listen to one person ramble on and on for an hour talking to themselves? I've watched podcasts who only have one person on there and they're talking to themselves, and it's like, you need somebody else to feed off of. So I knew that I wanted to start something, but I needed the right person or persons to start it with. And like Love Lady said, I don't know, without 2020, I don't know that we would be where we are now in our friendship. Even though I already consider both of you friends, but I don't know that we would be as close. Like, we've gotten to know each other um, quite well over the past year. So just new opportunities was one positive thing that came out of 2020 for me. And going back to the 8 uncomfortable truths, realizing that I am enough was one positive thing that came out of 2020, because I blamed myself for a lot of um, failed relationships and opportunities. And while I do believe that, yes, I had a role in everything that I feel like was a failure, I can't put all the blame on myself. And at one point, that's what I was doing. I was putting all the blame on me versus just taking accountability or ownership of my part in why this didn't work or why this went a certain way. Because, like, again, when you have all that alone time and you're just sitting in the house and Target isn't open, like, you have no choice but to sit back and reflect and think about things that you really didn't want to think about.
Yeah.
So, new opportunities and growth for 2020.
I would say mine is probably twofold as well, probably multifold, but I can think of two main ones. One is I figured out that my bounce back game is incredible because there were more days than not in 2020 where we woke
get
up
on that level.
right where we woke up to news that was devastating for us as Black people in particular. And I had to figure out how to continue functioning because the world expected things of me. And it wasn't just that, because I could easily just say, I'm not dealing with that today. But I wanted to show up for my life as well, because I recognize that despite all the craziness that's happening all around me, there are good things happening in my life for which I want to be present. And I want those to be memories for me that I can look back on 2020 and say, okay, I had this moment, I had that moment. So in order to do that, I really just had to get to a place where I choose what I focus on and I compartmentalize to some extent. I let things in to a certain point. I have reactions. I get angry. I get sad. I shed more than a few tears in 2020 because it just got to be too much. But that was all very healthy. And I just learned to let myself feel so that I could move past things more quickly and actually be able to show up the next day and say, all right, let's do this. And then I think my capacity for gratitude increased 100-fold this year. I've been confined to 730 something square feet for most of 2020, probably 90% of it. Besides going to the grocery store, going to the doctor, going to the dentist, like that was where I was.
Don't forget the barber.
Yes. So I kind of learned to just really. Right.
Like he said that like it was so important, dude. Don't forget the barber.
Right. Oh yeah, I'm just saying because he makes.
No, actually, for the first 4 or 5 months, I was looking crazy. I did not go to the barber.
Okay.
No, I was like, no, we will not be doing any videos, any of that. You all will see my stock photo, and that is all you will get, and you will appreciate it. But no, I just gained an appreciation for just. When food and toilet paper were scarce, I was like, damn, I really appreciate this sandwich I'm having right now. I really appreciate the ability to get out of the bed, walk 50 feet, and I'm at my computer and I can do my job through which I make money to be able to pay my bills. A lot of people lost their ability to take care of themselves in 2020. People lost their lives. People lost family members that were crucial, that were critical, the critical relationships. They lost so many things that I didn't even have to think about. And it just really hit me over and over and over again, just how much I disregard or overlook small things that became just critically important last year. And I just hope to carry that forward with me for this year and all the years to come. It's just like, we're very, no matter whether you have a set of religious beliefs or whether, whatever you profess faith in, we're all very blessed. And I think I just realized how far that extends and how deep that runs last year when I had nothing to do, not much else to do but work, sit on my couch and go to bed. Mm-hmm. And was confined to one space because I think we do a lot to distract ourselves. We go to bars, we go to parties, we hang out with people that we really aren't even that cool with, just to have somewhere to go and someone to be with. And I recognize that going forward, my list of people I don't F with is probably going to get very, very long. Just because, not because they're bad people, but because we don't truly have a connection. They were a convenience. It was just about having somewhere to go and somebody to kick it with for a minute.
Very insightful, Mr. Bond.
I mean,
Very insightful.
And,
But you
and
notice,
20
huh?
did bring a lot of the 2020 did bring a lot of
Well, it stepped my bourbon game up. It
yeah.
stepped my bourbon game up, and
yes,
I
yes,
was able to connect with two people who were able to introduce me to more than just Crown Royal,
correct,
you know.
yeah.
So, but Love Lady, I just want you to notice how the both of us were so grateful for our connection, and Mr. Bond, he didn't really see that as a positive for 2020. I just want everybody out there at YouTube, Instagram, Facebook land to know that apparently Peter and Love Lady, we really see the value in this connection, but sometimes
We didn't make the 2020 list.
we didn't make the top 10 in 2020. It was like, oh,
We didn't make
okay.
the shortcut.
Y'all were in the mix. Y'all were in the mix. Y'all were an ingredient.
Just
Oh,
like
man.
I love you, you love me.
Yeah, absolutely. The love is there. It's strong.
All righty. This was an awesome episode, an awesome start to 2021, despite people attacking the Capitol with an A or an L or an O. Blah.
Yeah, yeah.
So like, comment, subscribe. We would love to hear what you think of our podcast. Follow us on everything: Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Most likely today drink the number 2
On Twitter.
Right.
on Twitter. I always forget what we are. What are we on Twitter?
We are ML2DD.
Oh, ML2DD.
ML2DD. All right.
ML2DD.
Well, all of that'll be in the description on the video. So you guys make sure you follow us, subscribe, like, comment. Anything else, gentlemen?
No.
I have nothing.
Does anybody? I'd like to know in the comments. Does anybody have another uncomfortable 8?
Another uncomfortable.
Another
Another uncomfortable 2, 3, 4.
Right.
Exactly. Pick your number.
What are your uncomfortables? Uncomfortable truths.
Truths.
I was about to say, don't get too loose with it, but yeah, give us some uncomfortable truths.
All right. Until next time, everybody, keep sipping.
Woo!